run out of storage.
Good.
Oh, sorry. Within our production, we have offered different job roles suited to a specific person who has the skills and the work ethic necessary to complete the task allocated. The job roles will advocate in understanding the certain areas that require more expertise, and it was evident that between us 4 individuals, we all have different strengths and weaknesses. Chloe did the storyboard, typography, and was the actress. Grace did the storyboard, soundtrack, and timeline, and she was a camera woman. And Kirsten did the shot list, actor auditions, production schedule, and director. And I did the shot list, location scouting, and production ident, and the actress. When it came down to creating our company ident, we came to the conclusion that it should be black and white to maintain the simplicity of it. However, the graphology of the ident should be media related. For example, a film reel would be used and it would indicate to the audience that it's the main focus of the production company ident. The film reel is in fact grey, which subverts our original idea of the ident appearance. Unexpectedly, the group and I have become very fond of this colour choice. The colour grey complements the white writing and the black background. The reason why we all made sure that our ident is fairly simple is so that it is more essential in terms of being eye-catching, and it will hopefully stay in the consumer's mind. We believe more complex idents are not as effective as the ones that are more on the basic side, as there is less to take in and be aware of. As a group, we took a liking to different production company idents. On the other hand, we like them for the same reasons. Our favourite idents as a group varied from Blumhouse Productions and A New Line Cinema. We all have very different preferences, however we decided to incorporate the stereotypical conventions of a production company ident. Most of the ones we liked the look of associated with their studio through their graphology. For example, Blumhouse Productions incorporates the image of a house within their title.
Our task is to create a thriller opening title sequence effectively. We must try to include the correct conventions and make sure the titles used are effective and clear. Also, we need to ensure that we use effective camera work, props, location, costume, makeup, cast and soundtrack. Also, our thriller must appeal to our target audience and the narrative must be effective for the audience's viewing.
As a group, we decided that the subgenres we would be able to incorporate successfully were mystery and crime. The mystery aspect is represented through the use of close-ups that do not reveal the whole appearance of character 1. By doing this, the audience are left wondering as the sequence progresses who she is and what she is capable of. As a result of this, the audience are encouraged to continue watching to gain more of an insight into the character's life. Mystery is also connoted at the end of the sequence because a new character is presented to the audience, however no one is aware who this is. We found when researching our target audience during the filming of our Vox Pops that crime is a popular subgenre. By including crime conventions in our thriller opening, we are able to appeal to a mass audience of those we wish to reach. These conventions are mainly connoted through the mise-en-scène. For example, the props such as the knife are displayed regularly in thrillers of the crime subgenre. Also, special effects makeup with cuts and bruising are frequently presented in crime thrillers as a result of violence, which is a common convention.
Our thriller opening is aimed at young adults, mainly aged 16 to 20, but of no specific gender. This is due to the fact that when filming our Vox Pops, these were the age groups we focused on most. We found out their specific likes and dislikes regarding thriller films and incorporated these different aspects into our production. Therefore, the thriller opening we have planned is more applicable to young adults rather than any other age group. Due to the subgenres we have based our production around, we believe that the target audience needs to be somewhat interested in these factors also, so that the psychographics of our target audience suit our thriller. Again, regarding our Vox Pops, we interviewed both genders and evaluated their likes and dislikes before incorporating them into our thriller opening. This portrays that our production isn't aimed at a specific gender, but in fact both. The demographics of our target audience, specifically concerning social class, isn't a massive factor we looked into. We have planned our thriller so that it suits any social class and can therefore reach a mass audience as opposed to a niche. We believe that all these factors in which we've incorporated into our thriller opening will in fact attract our target audience. When creating our Vox Pops, we interviewed participants around the age of 16, asking them what makes a thriller thrilling. Many of the people we asked stated that it was the use of an upbeat soundtrack, incorporation of jump scares, and also more that they found most exhilarating within a thriller. We have then gone on to include these specific factors into our thriller in hopes of attracting this age group. Our narrative is also based around a relatable setting and everyday routine in which one would complete. We believe that this would intrigue our target audience further, as it's not too unrealistic, it's somewhat relatable, which creates a thrilling and exhilarating atmosphere throughout.
Our thriller opening is based on a young woman who comes home from work. The audience will see her doing a usual and normal routine. However, she will hide a used knife, and so the audience will be unsure what she has done. While getting a glass of cranberry juice, the radio will be turned on and a report about a missing body will be heard. Ignoring this, she will go and remove her red lipstick and have a shower where blood will be seen going down the drain. She will then complete other realistic tasks such as painting her nails red. However, she will splatter the nail varnish, and so this can symbolise blood. After carrying on with the rest of her routine, such as going down to the kitchen and making a cup of tea, the doorbell will be heard. When she comes to the door, the person she thought she had killed will be stood with a knife. The young woman will drop her tea and it will smash on the floor where the title will appear. Throughout the opening, the colour red will be seen frequently, and so this can symbolise blood or murder, which will connote the topic of the thriller.
For our thriller filming location, we're using an ordinary house in order to create a realistic atmosphere within the thriller. It also means that the thriller will be effective, as the audience will be concerned not only for the characters, but possibly for themselves due to the realism of it. The locations used in the house will be the rooms such as the bathroom and kitchen, as the character will be getting herself washed from what she has done. The locations used in the house will be similar to the locations the audience may use when they get home from a day at school or work. We are going to use a different range of lighting sources to make it seem realistic throughout. And we're going to use a range of props also, such as the knives, the radio, and other things. And I'll be wearing harsh makeup to connote a sense of danger, but Natasha will be wearing something quite natural because she'll be having a lot of blood and special effects on her face. And then our clothes will be somewhat realistic again to suit the location.
The soundtrack we will include in our thriller opening will be something upbeat and fast-paced. When researching for our Vox Pops, we found that our target audience think that this is what makes a thriller soundtrack the most effective. By including conventions that our target audience express to reflect when watching a thriller, we hope to reach a mass audience. We also believe this type of soundtrack will be effective because that is what an audience would expect to hear in a crime or mystery thriller, which are the subgenres of our thriller opening. In contrast, a more eerie, dark soundtrack stereotypically accompanies horror subgenres. This kind of soundtrack would not appear as successful purely because of the subgenre and the narrative of our thriller. We will be incorporating the sound of a car pulling up into the driveway because it represents the importance of the characters in the car. We will be including the sound of character one's footsteps because it creates an intense atmosphere and adheres to the ideology that the character has just committed a violent act but does not hold any remorse. If the steps were light, it would signify the fact that the character is on edge and is in fear of getting caught, and therefore tiptoeing around the house. The opening and closing of the jaws will be used to connote the fierceness and aggressiveness of character one. The sound of the shower will be included to create a sense of setting and normality. The radio report is significantly unravelling of the narrative as it reveals what character one has been up to. Finally, the incidental sound of the smashing mug will shock the audience and put them on edge as the narrative picks up.
The camera work we are going to use will consist of close-ups, extreme close-ups, mid-shots, bird's-eye views, point-of-view shots, tracking, and others such as panning shots. We are using a range of shots that will allow us to keep most of the location and identity of the characters a mystery. By doing this, the audience will be more involved within the opening as an enigma will be created, which will make them want to know more. Also, the use of bird's-eye view shots and points-of-view shots will mean that the audience can clearly see what is happening within the scene.
The editing of our opening sequence will be fast-paced to match our footage. This is because we wish to create a sense of normality for the audience, as all character one is doing is carrying out her nightly routine. If the editing was slow-paced in our opening sequence, it would begin to get boring and repetitive and overall not to be as successful. Although flickers of slow motion will be incorporated into some areas, transitioning from normal speed to a slower speed quickly. This will take place in areas such as when character one takes the makeup wipe from the packet and when she drops the mug. This will be included to create a sense of chaos relating to the narrative. Finally, The structure we will edit our sequence in is by focusing on importing of the footage and cutting them and arranging them to how and where we want them to begin with. Then we will begin to consider what transitions we will be using between the clips. Finally, we will focus on putting the soundtrack into the sequence and making sure it fits effectively with the action taking place. Because we're not using superimposed titles, we will not need to include text or anything.
All of the conventions above would evidently create the ideology of the film to be a thriller. Conventions allow the consumers to generate some sort of impression of the genre. We included many of these conventions to make our genre more prominent and significant in terms of attracting our target audience. On the other hand, instead of incorporating a great amount of shots that consisted of low-key lighting, we are planning to use more high-key lighting. This was done to contrast with a stereotypical thriller film and disorient our audience. The use of high-key lighting will make the viewers believe that nothing negative can occur, which juxtaposes with the main purpose of this production. On the contrary, I would say that using more high-key lighting in our short film would subvert to the stereotypical thriller and is therefore anti-stereotypical. However, there are aspects of low-key lighting in order to be a typical factor for a thriller film. We have chosen to do this to confuse our consumers and make them cautious of the upcoming events that are not as obvious.
Just stay there for a bit. Brilliant. Give a round of applause, definitely, guys. Right, guys. Now, this is the important bit. Well done, you four. That was absolutely excellent. So you've set the bar